I started looking at this when Alberto Villoldo, a shamanic teacher, started talking about how shamans heal and how that's different from our medical system today. And you'll see in a minute why it applies to the soul of story. And he did it in a very different way of energy fields from out from the body. But he talked about how if in your body there's a symptom, our medical system, the first thing we tend to do is let's lay a prescription on it and see if we can suppress that symptom. But then he said there's another level. What if we work with the mind? And that in our culture would be the psychotherapy and all the great things that are available to us. Because if we can change our mind and our thinking about something, it can cascade down and affect how that symptom is manifesting. But there's two other levels that he talked about that are available to the shaman, the soul and the spirit. And his way of differentiating this is the soul is our individual expression and the spirit is the collective. And when the shaman wants to intervene on the soul level, it's through ritual, it's through song, it's through story. And that story can then affect how we think, how we act. And what I see in speaking more and more, I don't think there's an exception to this. People will not act in a different way unless they are touched and moved by your story. Otherwise, it's a good idea. Nice presentation. Good luck to you. But if you want people to open their hearts and their resources to what you most care about, your greatest possibility of doing that is through the story you tell and how it affects them. Native American wisdom says, tell me a fact and I'll listen, tell me a truth and I'll learn, but tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. I do know about the professional speaking world that if someone calls a speakers bureau, they often don't know your name. They know your story. I want the woman who talks about fundraising in that really interesting way. Oh, you mean Lynn Twist. So you want to be known by your story. Even as little kids, right? Mommy, tell me that story again. Daddy, I want that story. We never tire of a really good story. And this spirit level is what Alberto talked about was the shaman will intervene in this energetic world, where in our world, no words, but can see what's off in the energy field and intervene before it ever becomes a symptom in our body. And when you apply this to your speaking and your messaging about what you care about, what happens here is when we get into that place where we feel the emotional connection, we have the option of not just affecting how people think and how they act, but it can go up to this place where there are no words, and we've had those moments. I think it's what Rumi referred to when he said, out beyond ideas of right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field. I will meet you there. And that's the field we most want to be in with people, because there are no barriers. It's all that co-creative possibility where anything can happen. And when we meet there, we have partnerships that allow what we care about to expand and fulfill the vision of the new story that we know is possible. Lynn and I share a friend, Linnea Lombard, who lives on Whidbey Island. And Lynn read this morning the Hopi prophecy that ends with, "We are the ones we've been waiting for." And on Linnea's 60th birthday, she said, "And these are the times we've been waiting for." So as scary as they can feel, because we don't know, we know that money doesn't insulate us anymore. Even when we know there isn't, if we think there's not enough, we can never get enough. And this feeling like there's some place we can hide or be insulated from these incredible times that we've been called to be part of is just insane. So what's it like to recognize these are the times we've been waiting for? Because we have been preparing a very long time. And for what you represent in this room and what you care about, these are the things we can seed in a way that never could be seeded before. And what a privilege to be the one carrying that message so that the world can, in fact, change. So these are the 4 levels of engagement, and this one is information. Maybe with our thinking, it's insight, but the soul level is where we move into imagination. What's possible? And then the spirit level is really the illumination, when something can come that's much bigger than we ever imagined, because something about the way we presented what we care about takes us to that level of possibility where what we didn't even think could happen suddenly becomes real.